Hi, Davy. Awesome. Welcome to Davy's Awesome Wrestling, where I review wrestling-related things all from the perspective of a fan, not an insider. This past week, for the first time ever, WWE held a PLE in Germany. Apparently, it was the first time they had a televised anything in Germany for 27 years, so awesome. With WWE's Bash in Berlin. In Berlin, Germany, obviously. And it was at the Uber Arena. Let's get into it. The opening match for the WWE Undisputed Championship, Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes. It was good, but it was predictable. I think everybody knew that this was just a feeder opponent for Cody Rhodes. That with all the things going on right now, the concept of Roman Reigns being back, not to mention the promise of a Cody Rhodes versus The Rock later, the long-standing feud he's had with Solo Sikoa, plus just other potential matches. I think we all knew that there was no way that Kevin Owens was going to win this title out of nowhere, especially of a rivalry with, hey, do you want a title shot? You know, I don't know if I deserve one, but okay. Sorry, even the build-up to this was extremely lackluster. I mean, what could have made it better is if there would have been like a turn thing going on here where in the middle of it, Kevin Owens decides to be a villain again, which was one thing I was kind of hoping that this was going to do. Because as much as I like Kevin Owens as a babyface, he's such a good heel. And it looked like there was kind of teasing that, because previously on that SmackDown they had mentioned that Cody's knee was injured. Kevin Owens was the one that mentioned it, but saying he didn't know if he wanted to wrestle Cody that way because he didn't want to win if Cody had a knee injury, because it might taint his victory. And in the match, we saw it where Cody Rhodes went for a moonsault but couldn't end up doing it. He ended up having to go to the ground because his knee was bothering him. And Kevin Owens looked like he was rearing to go kick him in the knee, but just couldn't do it. He couldn't win that way. And I'm having flashbacks of Chris Jericho allowing himself to be counted out because he didn't want to win against Alex Wright on a count-out victory. And even on the outside, Kevin Owens finally does kick him in the knee and is about to do that devilish move he does of a powerbomb onto the apron, but he just can't do it. Cody's his friend. And they just went for a little bit longer until Cody Rhodes got a crossroads that finally put him out, got him the pin and the win, and he is still the WWE Undisputed Champion. Like I said, the match itself was good. There's nothing wrong with it. It was just a very lackluster build-up, and then nothing really happening of it. Might have gotten a few more points if Kevin Owens had turned heel, but no. They hugged at the end of it. They're still friends. It was just a nice competitive battle between two friends. That's not very entertaining. But I will say the match overall itself was entertaining enough to where I would give it a 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then, for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair finally get their rematch against Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. This one was disappointing, because we pretty much predicted that they were going to give the titles back to Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Especially because they're still trying to push Jade Cargill down our throats, even though, in my opinion, from what I've been seeing, what I've been hearing, the majority of fans are saying, stop pushing her down our throats, we don't like it. Not to mention, with the titles having gone to Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, what I was really hoping for was they were going to finally do something with this women's tag division. Make it a real thing. But they really haven't, because the tag team champions haven't really been doing all that much since winning the titles. So it was an opportunity blown. They had a real tag team with the tag team titles, not a makeshift tag team made up of two people who they just don't have any other plans for. But they're just going right back to that, because nothing all that interesting happened in this match. It just went back and forth until Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair got the pin, the win, and are once again the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. I really just felt like if you're going to push Jade Cargill down our throats, then fine. Have her go after the women's champion. Not like I care right now anyway, because Jade Cargill, Nia Jax, two people they're pushing down our throats who really aren't that good. But no, they're just going to keep up with this tag team and do nothing with this division except make it what it really feels like it always is. A consolation prize for a couple of women they don't have any real plans for. I'm going to give this one a 1 out of 5. Yeah. And then a strap match between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. And honestly, I like that they're bringing this kind of strap match back. The last couple decades, every time I see a strap match, It just means they're attached by a strap that they can use against each other. This is the old school one where they had to touch all four corners without their momentum being hindered at all. And this match was awesome. It was bloody. It was brutal. Not to mention the drama behind it. Of course, having the strap that they're using against each other. The story that has been built up with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre for a long time, that needed a big match like this. Something brutal. And it went until CM Punk was doing multiple GTSs onto Drew McIntyre, enough so that he could technically not have his momentum stopped as he touched 3 turnbuckles, and then finally redeem his friendship bracelet off of Drew McIntyre. Good for you, Punk. And then able to get to the 4th turnbuckle. Even though the friendship bracelet thing is a little weird, it does make sense in that it was a cheap little gift that meant a lot to CM Punk that Drew McIntyre had taken from him just to taunt him. So, okay. As far as this match itself, I would actually say this is the match of the night. It was the one with the best story, the best build-up, the best drama. And I will say, I don't know if this is it for CM Punk and Drew McIntyre as of this filming. I kind of feel like they could have one more because they have had McIntyre win. They've had CM Punk win. I feel like doesn't need the rubber match. And then maybe the two of them can go on to bigger and better things. We can get a CM Punk versus Gunther thing going on. But either way, this match, 5 out of 5. And then another blood feud going on. A mixed tag of Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan versus Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. It was a good match, you know. A way for Damian Priest to get a little revenge on, well, he's trying to get all of Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley is too, but mostly Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. And she definitely got a little revenge on Dominic Mysterio. Beat the crap out of him. Of course, in the middle of the match, Judgment Day members all came down, got involved, but it didn't really help, as eventually Rhea Ripley got the riptide onto Liv Morgan, got the pin, the win, and a little comeuppance for her and Damian Priest, calling himself the Terror Twins. However, this is obviously not done. But like I said, it was a good match, it was entertaining. I wouldn't say quite enough to get a 4, but easily a solid 3 out of 5. Yeah! And then the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Randy Orton challenging Gunther. Randy Orton coming over for SmackDown because, as we know, Gunther got the title match by beating Randy Orton in the King of the Ring tournament. However, Randy Orton's shoulder clearly wasn't down. It was a referee mistake. So now it's his rematch, and it's for the World Heavyweight Championship, which I will say this about this match. It was the only one that wasn't too predictable. There was that thought of like, yeah, Gunther's going to win. He's Austrian, which is pretty much German, and they're in Berlin. Not to mention he just won the title. Would they do all that build-up? But you know what? It wouldn't be the first time they did all that build-up, and it wouldn't be the first time somebody's lost on their home turf. Because there's also that thought of like, Randy Orton is a 14-time world champion. Nobody's beaten Ric Flair's record of most times winning the championship at 16. Only one person has tied it, which is John Cena. And it's pretty obvious he's not going to break it. Randy Orton's the best chance right now they have to break it. He'd have to win the title 3 more times in order to break the record. So were they going to do that, or was this going to be just another thing of like, well, let's put them with Randy Orton to try to get them over? As far as the match itself, it was really good. I wouldn't say it was as good as their first one, but it was really good. And I will say this, I remember all night wondering who was going to break the German announce table. Because it just seems like if they're in a foreign country, somebody has to break the foreign commentator table. Well, they waited till the end, because Randy Orton did. When he set up the steel steps next to their table to put Gunther through it. But then after that, there was, again, more back and forth, more beating between the two of them, until Gunther was able to get Randy Orton into the sleeper hold. Randy Orton was able to get out, but Gunther was able to immediately put him back in and keep him in that sleeper hold until Randy Orton passed out. So it was also a perfect way for it, because we wouldn't believe that Randy Orton would tap out, but anybody can go unconscious. And after the match, of course, Randy Orton gave him the respect. Gunther stood tall as the champion. But again, this was awesome. I'm glad that he's still the champion, because I like that one show has a face champion and one show has a heel champion. It's the way it should go. Not to mention, I'm still waiting on CM Punk versus Gunther. I think they could have some great matches. Either way, this match, it was a great way to end the night. I wouldn't say quite good enough to be a 5, but easily a solid 4 out of 5. Yeah! So, WWE Bash in Berlin overall was good. Not great. It's kind of my issue I'm having with WWE's PLEs. especially the ones they're doing in other countries, it doesn't seem like there's really much to them. They all feel like filler. Now, I don't know why that is. Maybe it's like a testing ground kind of thing. Because I will say the ones they do in Saudi Arabia now still kind of feel like filler, but not as much. Like, some of them feel like they really are building towards something or culminating stuff, but for the most part, those even feel like filler. Then again, even the ones they're still doing here in America, it seems like everything is just filler to do something until they get to one of their big pay-per-views. You know, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble. I wouldn't even say Survivor Series feels like it's not filler. The opening match between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, it wasn't exciting. My hope was that it was going to get exciting, that it was going to be to lead to some kind of a story of Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens, like them having a rivalry, but it just felt like, you know, hey, we're two friends, let's go have a match. You know, basically something to do in between having him wrestle Solo Sikoa again. The women's tag team match, in my opinion, really shouldn't have been on the card. That should have been just done on SmackDown, since it really means nothing. I hate to say it, because I was excited when they came out with the women's tag team championships again, but I would honestly at this point prefer that they just got rid of them, because it's never meant anything, really. Since its inception, it seems like it has just been a consolation prize to give to the female wrestlers whom they have no idea what to do with. And every time it feels like they're about to make it something real, like give it to a real actual tag team, it doesn't last very long. They do nothing with that tag team. They have no real rivalry with that tag team. They eventually just give it back to two more singles wrestlers they have no plans with. The CM Punk Drew McIntyre match, that one was very exciting. That's a rivalry that's been built up for a while, and it was a really good match. It was the only match on the card that I would give a 5. The mixed tag team match, it was good, but again, I don't feel like it should have been on this PLE card. I really feel like on the PLE, it should have just been Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan again, or Damian Priest versus maybe somebody from the Judgment Day. Obviously, not yet Finn Balor. But a mixed tag team match, I feel like this should have been on a Raw. The main event was really good. I can't give any complaints to it. And again, it was the only one where I felt like I really didn't know how it was going to end. Because part of me was like, no, they're not going to have Gunther do all that, win the title, and just take it right off him. But they've done it before. Not to mention with Randy Orton, it makes sense for them to let him be the guy to break Ric Flair's record. So either way with it, I was happy. I'm happier that Gunther still has a title because there's just so many things to do there. There's Seth Rollins and Gunther. There's CM Punk and Gunther. There's so many things they can do there. But like I said, the overall event, mostly it was predictable. Wasn't all that exciting. It was good. I'm glad for you Germans that you got your PLE. I hope you get another one in less than 27 years. But it ultimately comes down to, it didn't feel like this was an important event. Just felt like it was something to get us to the next PLE. So overall, like I said, I was entertained. It was good. But I would only give it a 3 out of 5. Yeah! So there you have it. That's my wrestling review this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications when I post new videos. And leave a comment I can respond to in my next comment corner. Tell me what you thought of Bash in Berlin. Love you guys.